Hey guys, what's going on? Blaine back for another Netflix review, and today I'm going to be talking about Chickenhare and the Hamster of Darkness. Chickenhare and the Hamster of Darkness is an English-language Belgian animated comedy based on the graphic novel series Chickenhare, and tells the story of its titular protagonist, who is born half chicken and half hare. While he grows up inspired to follow his adoptive father's footsteps as an adventurer, he remains insecure about his body. When his evil uncle Lapin escapes from prison to search for the Hamster of Darkness, an artifact capable of mass destruction, Chickenhare goes against his father's wishes and sets out on the adventure of a lifetime to save the land, while coming to terms with his differences. I've never read the novels before, and with such a strange title, I honestly didn't know what to expect when watching it, but it ended up being a fun adventure flick with an important message behind it. Even though it isn't anything that hasn't been seen before, it's still a blast to watch. Chickenhare was a great protagonist throughout. He has a consistently endearable sense of wanderlust that keeps him invested in the quest for the artifact, and this makes it easier for the audience to want to see him succeed, as he's always focused on his mission and doesn't let anything keep him down. His insecurities relating to his body also make him sympathetic, as he starts out in the beginning wanting to fit in and be just like everyone else, and this only causes him to be more miserable. This is a feeling that many people can relate to, and although it's a bit basic in approach, it still helps in connecting the audience to his struggles. There's a lot of great supporting characters that help Chickenhare on his journey. One of which I enjoyed the most was his servant Abe the Turtle. He is a constant source of hilarious dialogue, ranging from being meta to fourth wall breaking. He's always complaining about being forced to tag along when he just wants to stay at home, but he never comes off as annoying, and when push comes to shove, he's always there to help his friend. Meg the Skunk was also an interesting character. She helps Chickenhare start to embrace his identity, as well as adding to the whimsy of the overall adventure. The movie also takes advantage of her ability to explode stinky gas all over the place, which comes very close to being a bad fart joke, but thankfully it doesn't resort to this gimmick too much. The villain side of things is a bit disappointing in comparison, mostly with regard to Lapin. His voice actor does a good job with hamming up his line delivery, but it's immediately obvious he's the villain once the movie starts, and there's not a whole lot of nuance behind his character beyond simply wanting to take over the kingdom. This being said, his henchmen, while underused, do make up a bit for his mediocrity. My favorite one is Luther, who's made up to be this big, deadly assassin, but he always goes around with his infant child on a chest strap. There's something about how these things are juxtaposed together that makes me crack up every time I see it. And that was the main thing that surprised me about this movie. I didn't expect it to be as funny as it ended up being. Between the banter of the crew and the silly nature of the hijinks everyone gets involved in, there's always something humorous that can be grasped for both kids and adults alike. The adventure itself, however, is the main selling point, and is an entertaining ride once it gets going. There's a variety of scenarios featured in it that helps keep the story interesting, as the crew traverse across an ocean, a quicksand desert, and a frozen mountaintop, which all add to the excitement. It definitely helps that the environments are pleasing to look at, and the characters' animations when they're running, swimming, and investigating all look great. While it's not at the level of quality with a Disney Pixar movie, for example, it comes close several times, and as someone who loves animals, I found myself chuckling at how many kinds of ways they were used. My favorite part of the movie is when the crew are trapped by an indigenous tribe of pygmies. Not only is the play on words brilliant, but the pygmies themselves are unique in how they assemble like Lego blocks to build different structures to try and catch Chickenhare and his friends. I never knew what to expect from them, and this made that entire chapter a ton of fun as a result. But while the adventure itself is enjoyable, you may remember that I said, once it gets going. I personally found the movie's premise took a while to kick off. There's lots of training involved, showing Chickenhare honing his craft over the years, and this results in the pacing being quite slow in this regard. This is made more tedious when the movie explores the relationship between Chickenhare and his dad, which I'm not opposed to, but it doesn't amount to much. Once his dad takes off in the wrong direction to look for Lapin, he disappears for most of the movie afterwards. I can't explain what it is, but there's something between the two that's lacking. I think it has something to do with how Chickenhare learns to accept himself without his dad's help, and in fairness, this aspect is still done pretty well. His progression almost feels like how it would be in a video game, with how he gradually sheds his old clothing to reveal his true self, and slowly gains abilities that help him and his friends travel and escape hairy situations. There's a classic sense of adventure and awe that one gets when watching this movie. It's packed with tons of pop culture references to Indiana Jones and other adventure movies that can be hokey at times, but I still enjoy them, and the music composed by Puggy has the perfect levels of wonder and mystery to further draw viewers into the story. Now, this movie won't win points for originality, at least as far as the story structure is concerned. Two teams try to find the same artifact, one good and one bad. Good team stumbles into traps and barely escapes them. Good team finds the artifact, only to be outdone by the bad team. Everything looks unique, especially once the hamsters are unleashed, but the story itself plays out pretty much as one would expect. Its central theme regarding self-acceptance helps add a twist to its otherwise traditional coming-of-age story though. It will certainly appeal to younger audiences who may feel like they stand out from others in a bad way. And it's great that a movie like this exists to provide a role model to demonstrate that it's not only okay, but also important to embrace oneself. Overall, Chickenhare and the Hamster of Darkness is an entertaining, if formulaic, work of animation that's fun for the whole family. And if you're looking for something to watch with your kids that's both fun and meaningful, you should definitely check this one out. And if you happen to see it already, what did you think about this movie? Did you enjoy seeing Chickenhare's adventure play out, or did you find it to be slower paced than you would have liked? Let me know in the comments below. Anyways guys, that's going to wrap up my review of Chickenhare and the Hamster of Darkness. Thanks for watching this video, I hope you enjoyed it, and as always stay tuned for the next part, where next time I review the American Rwandan drama, Trees of Peace. Bye bye!